Hey everyone, it's me, Aridosas Rashid. I'm an anthropologist and sociologist. Hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel, and don't forget, donate the links below. And check my novels at Amazon. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll speak a bit slower. I'm outside now, as you can see. It's warm weather. It's not that cloudy. It's a little cloudy. Sun is shining. I believe it's around 90 degrees Celsius. I don't use Fahrenheit. So sorry for those subscribers from the United States. I know how to calculate Fahrenheit. But anyway. I'm going to tell you a parable. And I want you to pay attention to this parable. John is married. John is 45. He's married. He has 3 daughters. They're all teenagers. One day, John comes home. He looks stressed out, like he's about to collapse. The wife asks him, honey, what goes on? Oh, don't worry, just something from work. It's a bit of stressed out. Okay. But the wife realizes that John is stressed out for over 2 months. So she's thinking, this is not good. What goes on over here? And then she finds out that John has been on paid leave for the past 2 months. And she's thinking, hold on a minute. If he's on paid leave, that means all the time he left the house in the morning, the so-called go to work, he was not going to work. Where was he going? So the wife's thinking, what the heck is this? But because she didn't want any turmoil in her marriage, she called one of her best friends, Mary. And the wife, let's call the wife Stephanie. Stephanie called Mary, and she told Mary all that happened. And Mary told her, Stephanie, listen, I don't know what goes on with your husband, but he has something to hide. It's so important for him to keep this hidden that he lied to you going to work every morning. Now, he still has income. How come he didn't tell you that he was on paid leave? The fact he's on paid leave, it either means that he is terminally ill and is about to die. So you may have to contact his medical doctor and see if they will reveal something to you. Or it can be that he messed up and he's on a criminal investigation, and until the investigation is finished, he's on paid leave. It's one of the two. Because you're not put on paid leave just like that. And he's been working for that company for over 20 years. And then Sam tells, no, he's been working there for 18 years. Okay, 18 years he's been working there. So how come he's been working there for 18 years? He has a high rank there at the company. And suddenly they put him on paid leave. So Stephanie decides to look into his past to see if she can find anything. She was thinking maybe he has an affair, or maybe he has a child that he fathered at another woman from his past and he wants to keep this hidden. She tried to come up with anything what's going on. Eventually, she saw on her husband's CV that he graduated a certain university in Britain. So she wanted to know more about her husband's past, because as far as she remembered, her husband was always a bit reluctant to talk about his past. He was kind of closed off about it. So eventually, the wife, Stephanie, decides to call the university to ask about her husband. And the university tells her, what's the name of your husband? She says, John Adams. She may make up her name right. His name is John Adams. And the university told them, listen, we don't have any John Adams that graduated that year. And she said, are you sure? My husband graduated there. And they tell you he didn't. So then she calls an alumni network of the graduated people that graduated that year. And she joins them on social media asking about her husband. And none of the former students who graduated remembered her husband. None. As a matter of fact, she even called the British embassy to ask information about her husband's stay in Britain. And the embassy confirmed to her, listen, we have no record of your husband even existing in Britain. She thought what goes on. Now, long story short, she eventually found out that he lied on his CV. He never lived in Britain and he never attended university. And then she told Mary, she called Mary and said, Mary, I found out John never lived in Britain and never graduated university. He lied on his CV. He lied to get the job. And then Mary is silent for a minute, and then she said, okay, Stephanie, listen, you do know what this means, right? If he lied on his resume, that's fraud. Now, it's almost 20 years ago, so that's 18 years ago. So likely he can't be arrested anymore without the statute of limitations. But nevertheless, for that job, you need qualifications. If he got the job back then and they did not check his qualifications, that means that the company operates in neglect. And your husband, his job, he works at the clinic, okay? So he has to deal with people's health. How the heck is he working in healthcare without the qualifications? Now, eventually, your husband got more certifications, so he's qualified now, but he wasn't qualified back then. If this comes out, the clinic where he works is in big trouble. Think about all the patients and clients of that clinic. They are now going to be associated with this fraud too. The clinic may have to close. If a clinic closes, all those people that work there will lose their jobs. And now you have families in financial problems because, well, income is gone. And now some people may get homeless, others will get depressed, so you have mental issues in the community. And all the former patients that were there at the clinic may think, oh my God, did I receive proper medical care? So now you have all types of investigations ongoing. And don't forget, your family, Stephanie, will also be in trouble. And Stephanie asked, Mary, why are you saying that? And she said, listen, Stephanie, when you were dating John, it was the responsibility of your family to look after you and to check the man you're about to marry. By you marrying John, John's not linked with your family, but it was their job to know what they would be linked to. How come your family never examined John? The fact it was vague about his past already should have been a red flag. It should have been a red flag to you too. Okay, that you fell for it. Okay, that's on to you, Stephanie. Stephanie told her, yeah, that's true, that's on to me. But this thing, Stephanie, Mary said, Stephanie, it also affects your family. You have a brother that works for the government. He has a high position at the government. If people find out that his brother-in-law was involved in the medical field, in health care, that he is actually a fraud, people going to ask, hold on a minute, if this man was a fraud for the past 18 years, how come his family-in-law was not aware of it? So even your brother, with his position in the government, may suffer reputational loss. And with that, the government itself, at least that department, will suffer reputational loss too. Not as much as other people would, but just understand this, Stephanie, this is not just about John. What he did was wrong. But let me tell you, by doing that fraud, he involved everyone in it. And because the fraud continued for so long, more people got involved with it unaware. So when this comes out, all the people who are associated with John, directly or indirectly, or with his workplace, are all going to face reputation loss, financial loss, and some even develop mental health issues as a result. So Stephanie, it's best for you to keep this quiet. And Stephanie said, okay, but if I keep it quiet, and Mary told her it's best to keep this quiet. Now, eventually, John was forced to resign. And Stephanie knew all along why he had to resign. Even his daughters found out, but he kept his silence. But one day, let's say 2 years after John resigned, there was a journalist from the BBC that came by. And the journalist walked around asking questions. One of John's daughters heard about it, and she told her boyfriend. and the boyfriend harasses you saying, hey, back off, leave us alone. We don't want you around here. Get out. And other people in the neighborhood who also found out about the hoax also told the journalist to leave. Why were they so hostile towards the journalist? The journalist was doing his job. There were rumors of a scandal, and as a journalist, it was his job to figure out what happened and report it. But why were people so upset with the journalist? Here's the thing. If it was the police officer that asked questions, people would have behaved. Because the police has organized violence behind them that they can use if you don't cooperate with them. The journalist doesn't have that. So of course they were more confident and more at ease going after the journalist. But why were they hostile towards the journalist? The journalist was not to blame for what John did. The journalist was not to blame for the situation. He was just doing his job. But the journalist doing his job eventually would bring this scandal to the light. And once scandal is out, everyone there is losing. And they don't have the ability to deal with the damage that will come. So people don't want to go through all of that. So they want to be left alone. So to preserve their daily ease in their daily lives, they turned on the journalist. Now, this is just one parable. Okay? Let's say now it's not a journalist. Let's say now John treated a patient 10 years ago and the patient died. Treatment didn't work out well. And now the son, or let's say the son of that patient realized, hold on a minute, something was wrong with my mom's treatment. Okay, and then the son goes into, it does some research, he does his own investigation, he goes to the archives and finds, hold on a minute, who treated my mom? Was a guy called John Adams. But then he wants to talk to John Adams again, but then he finds out that he resigned. And he thought, how come a quality doctor like this resigned? And so he figured out there's something wrong with his recognition, with him resigning from the job. His resignation was off. And then he found out that more patients that this guy treated had medical complications afterwards. So this guy, who lost his mom, it was quite tragic, wanted to find out the truth. So when he began to call around, he got people harassing him, telling him to leave it alone. When he reported to the police was reluctant to act on it. Why? Because even at the police, a lot of people suspected that scandal was going on, but the police knew whatever scandal it is, if it comes out, people are going to lose it, and the police didn't want the mass psychosis to develop over there. So the police told them, we're going after it, but they didn't actually do it. So that son of that patient that died, there's nothing wrong with him wanting to find out what happened to his mom. But even he's not aware how big the scandal is. But of course, because him wanting to find out the truth, him wanting answers, and looking for answers, will expose the scandal. And because a lot of people want to be left alone, they want to retain their daily ease, that's why it will turn on them too. Now, why these two parables? Well, it's one parable with two sides to it. Yes, one parable with two sides. Why this parable? Because that's how it goes in daily life. Anytime people become silent about a topic, and the silence is suspicious, you know there's a scandal that people don't want to address. Or the moment there is someone that people don't want to talk about, they kind of avoid talk about this individual, you know there's something to hide. Now, other times that you have to become a whistleblower by spreading the truth of what happened, there are times you do that. If there's a trafficking ring that traffics children, you should blow the whistle and warn people children being harmed. Absolutely. But apart from that, if you find out that something is amiss and you can sense that it's a sensitive topic that may blow up, listen. Don't just go out there on YouTube, or don't just go there to mainstream media with your face and name and start talking about your suspicion and all that. It may backfire on you. People sue you for slander or whatever, even if what you're saying is true, because it's not proven yet to the public. They may see you as a gossiper, someone that's spreading slander. So it may backfire on you. And apart from that, maybe The Heavenly Father doesn't want it to come out yet. No, I'm not telling you to be complicit in the conspiracy or to be complicit in whatever wrong's going on. Just know there's a right way, there's a beneficial way to deal with scandals, and there's a wrong, destructive way to deal with it. On YouTube, I see a lot of people deal with scandals the wrong way. They just reveal everything without considering the consequence of revealing things. Now, things have to be revealed eventually for things to be solved. But just understand, not all damage can be recovered. Some damage cannot be recovered. An example I give unto you is fictional, by the way. That medical doctor who lied on his CV, the patients he treated and who died, though to the bad treatment, they can't be brought back to life anymore. You can't get them back. Those families have to deal with the loss for the rest of their lives. Simple as that. So sometimes damage cannot be recovered. No matter how much prison sentence, no matter how much you punish the perpetrators in the present. First of all, if in the story they would go after John, they would also have to go after all the people that kept it silent. How are you going to prosecute all those people? If you would have to prosecute John, you'd also have to prosecute his wife, his family-in-law, his former colleagues, and by doing that, you're going to have maybe 100, 200 people in prison. But those 200 people have function in daily life. So their functions will be vacant, so you're going to have a whole crash in a community, whole financial crash. Their life may not be able to function properly anymore. So it doesn't matter how much prison sentence you give to alleged perpetrators today, or how high the fine is that you need to pay. Some damage cannot be recovered. So when you are dealing with a sensitive controversy, pray about it and let the Holy Spirit guide you on how to deal with it. Don't automatically go out there and spread things, even anonymously. First of all, in the present-day world, it's a bit difficult to say anonymous. But anyway, if you pray and fast and the Holy Spirit guides you to expose it in an anonymous way, you do that. So that it can't be linked to you. That's safe. But only do that if the Holy Spirit tells you to. Why? Because we as believers should not get the reputation that we cause problems by exposing everyone. And unfortunately, there are many believers on YouTube and on other social media doing exactly that. The only thing they do is exposing other people without caring about the consequences, without caring about solutions. Yes, you expose something that's wrong, which is okay. You did the right thing, but was it the best thing? Do you have a solution? Now, how are people going to deal with it further? Look, when you're dealing with controversies coming out are never very pleasant. There's also going to be losses that people have to deal with when a scandal comes out. Just know that the way we deal with scandals should be Christ-centered and constructive. All right? Now, I made up this parable at the spot. That's why sometimes I slow down, I think a little bit what to say, because it's not something I prepared at home, just a spontaneous story. This YouTube video is also something I made spontaneously. So, just understand, when people are faced with a scandal or a controversy, don't expect them to have a welcoming attitude. Nobody out here is going to be happy when their daily life gets worse. Nobody out here will rejoice and welcome their daily life becoming worse and more dangerous. If anyone is walking in your neighborhood and you know that this individual is going to cause things to get worse, you wouldn't want them there. You will do whatever you can to get them away. I don't care whether you're a believer or unbeliever, no human being is happy and welcoming to bad news. Neither should we be. So, if you have to blow the whistle out of much fasting and prayer, you do it in an anonymous, wise way, but do not just get yourself involved in exposing scandals. I don't care if it makes you popular on YouTube. I don't care if it will make you popular outside, here in the real world. Doesn't matter. Because in the long run, people going to reflect on it and think, hold on a minute, we have all these problems we're dealing with when these problems begin. Oh, when a scandal was exposed. Okay, who exposed the scandal? Oh, that guy did. Okay, what did the guy offer in return for exposing the scandal? Nothing. So he just ventilates the scandal, and now we have to deal with the consequences. That's not going to work out well for you, nor for other believers. So, stay alert, stay sensitive, and watch your mouth. Be at peace.